We're now joined by the convention co-chair as well as the MP for Calgary, Midnapore in Alberta, Stephanie Kusie. Stephanie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. It's great to see you.
Nice seeing you too. How are you feeling to be chosen the co-chair of the convention?
It is a thrill and an honor. It's incredible to stand on that stage in front of this entire crowd because you can feel the electricity of the crowd. So when Pierre Poilievre asked me to do this role, I could hardly believe it. It's like winning the lottery in the caucus. It's just an incredible opportunity, and I'm so proud and happy to do it.
Now, you actually campaigned for Pierre Poilievre. You were one of the early campaigners for Pierre Poilievre in Alberta when he decided to run for leader. And now you have your party sitting very high in the polls, a very enthusiastic, unified group of people here in Quebec City. How does it make you feel to see this unity? What do you think it is about Pierre Poilievre that's been able to bring this about in a party that has struggled with unity in the past?
And you're right. I've known Pierre for decades, actually. His mother is actually one of my constituents, and I remember him when he was at university. So when he asked me to be his Alberta South chair for his leadership campaign, it was a no-brainer. I was super happy and thrilled to do that for him. But, I think that this is an individual who has spent so much time in the Conservative Party and in the Conservative movement. He really understands the vision that the party has for Canada, and that is a vision in a country right now, of course, where we have the cost of living crisis, the inflation crisis, where Canadians aren't able to find a home, where we're struggling with public safety. I think that he has spent so long in this party with so many wonderful colleagues before him. We were just talking about Jason Kenney. Of course, he was a minister in the Harper administration, that he's really had time to evaluate, I think, all issues and all facets of society from a conservative perspective and really put that into not only policy but communication as well. So I think that what we're seeing here today with Pierre Poilievre, with this convention and with the party and the movement is really the culmination of decades of Pierre Poilievre's thinking and conservative principle.
Have you seen his own leadership evolve? As you know, people were in the early days wondering, really, Pierre Poilievre, because he's more known as almost an attack dog in the House of Commons, and he was considered as a potential prime minister. Have you seen an evolution? I
have, and he's always had the intellect. He's always had the intellect. I think he has developed the communication skills. You arrive in this role as a member of Parliament, and this is truly a craft. Like every day you're in the House, you hone your skills of delivering your message so that it becomes more precise, more clear from your constituents to Canadians for them to understand what you are presenting and putting forward better. So I think that he has done this, but where I've really seen him develop, Michael, I think is in his compassion. And I think that's a result of two things. One, him becoming a father. I'm a parent, and you don't know, it is a different type of love when you become a parent and a different lens that you see the world through when you have a child. I think that's the first thing. And I also think it's this magic story that no one could write, that he would marry a Venezuelan refugee, that I'm sure at one time having a gay father would have been something really difficult to come to terms with. And now this is just a beautiful piece of the fabric of Canadian society. So I think that it is the compassion that he's developed through becoming a parent, and the way the fabric of his life, the story of his life, is really a reflection of the Canadian life now.
You mentioned Anita, who is Pierre Poilievre's wife, and she actually introduced the speech that he gave to this crowd last night on Friday. What role do you think she will play in the campaign? We heard her speak very prominently during the leadership campaign. We saw her speak prominently during this national convention. If and when an election comes, what role do you think Anita will play?
I think it'll be a big one. I probably shouldn't say this, but I think she stole the show last night. I was so touched by her words, and when she almost cried when she was talking about her children, that was really something special. We've seen in the headlines, I think it's been mentioned on your network as well, that she is Pierre's secret weapon, and I think that this is very true. I'll tell you, I once had lunch with Lorraine Harper at 24 Sussex, another incredible woman that I admire very much. And I said, how do you see your role as the First Lady of Canada? And her words to me were that there is no official role like there is in the United States, for example. With Anita Poilievre, and I know I'm messing up her name even though I speak Spanish, we are going to see a real definition of that role. I think even more so than we see with the current Prime Minister when he first got elected, and of course Sophie Gregoire's role. She's going to be a major part of this campaign, a major part of a Pierre Poilievre government. Right beside him, I really think providing him sort of not only the kind words of a spouse, saying the things that only a spouse can say, but also having a very keen perception of the Canadian public, especially new Canadians, and the direction that we should be going as a result of listening to Canadians.
As the convention co-chair, I do want to get some clarity from you as well, because as you know, we saw a few Liberal cabinet ministers hold news conferences outside the convention centre, in part because they say they were not invited to be observers inside. Is that true? Could you clarify what was actually happening there?
I don't know who was invited and who wasn't invited. I know historically we have there are observer status entrance passes given, and I'm not sure if that was the case this time or not. I really don't know anything about that, but I will say if I was them, I'd be trying to do anything I could to distract from this positivity, from this momentum that we have
here. So you
here.
think it's political theater that's happening rather than actually...
I can't confirm that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Well, Stephanie, really appreciate this.
It's always lovely to see you.
Nice speaking to you always as well.
Thank you so much.
Stephanie Kusie, and the convention co-chair here in Quebec City.